Have you guys heard of EGL? This is the first time I've heard of EGL motors. Anyway, this bike is the guy who owned the Honda TRX 450R. I ended up selling him one of the Kawasaki's. So I got one left. He picked the other one up, and I had to go drop it off to him because he had a pickup truck with his bike in there. So he gave me this to work on in the meantime while he's away. But I will get this looked at. Should be a simple little fix. Looks like the carb just needs to be cleaned and the idle may be adjusted. So we'll go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna have to do some more research on these EGL motor. It's a pretty stout looking frame. I mean, it looks a lot better than the Chinese bikes, but 110cc. It's got a battery in there, but it doesn't hold a charge. Probably needs a new one. And then he wants me to thumb throttle this. I guess the kids that are going to be using it, he'd rather have a thumb throttle on there. So I'm going to measure the bars, check the cable down on this end to make sure I get the right one and give him a price on doing that. But I don't know, these little bikes, they're too little for me, that's for sure. I try riding them, I look all silly on it. It's a little hard for me to shift as well, but it's electric start, kick start, and let's get this one looked at. All right, so this thing does run. It doesn't stay running. I don't know if it needs the carb cleaned. I mean, it's just a tiny little carb. I need to pull the carb off anyway to check and see what kind of cable's on the other end, because he wants to convert this to a thumb throttle. So let me drain the gas out of here. And kind of go from there. Let me get this is all. So let me make sure the valve is off. Sometimes these are hard to read. So it's on now. That would be off. That's what it says. Oh wow, was that actually clear line? Oh my God, this stuff is hard as a rock. Oh boy. I'm gonna be changing a fuel line here, I have a feeling. Oh my God, that stuff is hard as a rock. I need to change that. I don't know how much gas is in this thing, I hope not much. Hey, it sounds like a lot. If I can get this part off, and then I can just turn the valve and let this tank flow into the canister here. I just want to get a majority of this gas out of here. All right, that's a good sign. That is a good sign. I'll take that for what it's worth. I'll just go ahead and slide this on here. And just put this in the catch-all and go ahead and just drain this. I'm going to drain this fuel out of this tank. It should be on, but we don't have anything coming out. That is odd. I think we need a new valve. That should just be flowing out of there. Like it starts to come out. Yeah, I mean, it's just trickling out. I would think we should be getting more flow than that. So we got a new valve. It's starting to come out now. That's looking better. You can tell the gas is all yellow. So let this drain. Pull the carb off and clean it. I'm gonna tell them we need a new valve. So replace all the lines, replace this valve, clean the carb. Those lines should not be hard as a rock. Alright, well that's still draining. I'm gonna pop this back up here because you see what kind of batteries in here. See if he wants to go ahead and buy a new one because they're tiny, they're small. I'm sure they're not that expensive. This is a tiny little battery. What do we got here? It's a 2023, but it is an extreme AGM. What size? We got an XTA X4LBS. So let's go write that down and we'll price out a battery for this. So positive is on the right. And then we got XTA X 4LBS. So we'll see about getting a new battery for this. Is it still draining? Yep. Adjust the chain here. I guess I could take the air filter off in the meantime. Get that out of the way. It's a tiny little thing. That thing's ripping off there. Let's see if I can find another tiny air filter for this thing because I don't think that thing's gonna survive. Oh yeah, that boot's all ripped. You can see it's all ripped. That's not good. So we'll have to see if we can find another one of these. That should be fun because they have it right in the way of the bar there. It's gonna have to be a small one, that is for sure. I can see all the dirtiness in that carb already. Choke is on. That choke won't even open up. Oh my God. What is up with that? Is that as much as it opens? Really? There's no way. Is it broken? There's a screw on here that looks like it shouldn't be there. There's no way that that's all that opens up. That should definitely open up more than that. What the heck? I'll bring you guys in closer. So there's no point cleaning this carb. It just needs to be replaced. I still can't believe that gas is going. That is I think it's just a PZ19. But my concern is, like, if I could get that over more, I could get a better air filter in there. I just don't know why they have that like that. It is so crazy how it just opens that little bit. It's like something's either bound in there or I don't understand what's going on. I use this thing right here. There we go. So I don't know what the heck that's about. I wonder if this thing will run right now. Let's pinch this fuel off here. Put this back on there. We'll come back to this system here. Let me put this back in there. I don't know why that would be like that. Let me put the jumper on this thing so we can get a little more power. Electric start, it's not a kick start. Show them it's charged. So we got a bad connection or what? All right, let me try the jumper pack. See if we can get that to boost it off. Downfall of this is it's so big and bulky and doesn't really want to clip on anything. Darn it. Let's get this -1 on there first because the idle. That's not the air fuel. Where's the air fuel? All the air fuel's over here. Let's get this out of the way here. Small screwdriver. Let me just check this air fuel. I wish I had a way to securely jump this. It's not going to be easy. I can just twist this up and connect to that. These little clamps need to be smaller. Alright, let's try the air fuel. It's gonna be a dilemma. I need to put a bolt in there or something. Jets? Why would it even? Darn it. I have another small battery, but I don't know if it'll work. Let's just take this out and we'll deal with what we need to deal with just to keep this thing running. I don't understand why they have that little. Like, I've never seen a car just open a quarter of the way just to keep something running. Like, maybe somebody replaced it and put the wrong one in there. I should just get a new card for this thing because it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't pass the sniff test there. I mean, it runs with the choke on there, but then it like wants to die out, and I'm just like, why would somebody put a piece there just to keep it from dying out? Alright, that's the battery. I have another little battery. I don't know if it's any good, but it looks like to be the same type of battery. So I'll just go ahead and do the top post mounts for now. It's still good. It's in a good pile. I'll just put this up here for now because seat on. This one's going to give us a problem because I don't think there's enough. It just doesn't want to run. It's like there's too much fuel. Let's see about this idle. It's probably just jetted wrong, would be my guess. Once you take the choke off, it just dies. You can see the valve just like fluttering. Turn, is the fuel still off? I think it is. Yeah, fuel's still off. That's my bad. Now let's try. Thought that would happen that way. Like when I'm giving the gas, I can see the valve opening up. And when I take it off choke, it just doesn't want to run at all. That makes it hard to adjust the idle. it's draining, but it's trickling out of there. Yeah, my guess is this thing's running. I'm going to pull the plug too when it cools down a little bit, but it seems like it's this little pipe shouldn't be getting that hot. Too. I think that was holding it on. Alright, this should be the last of this side. That's all I need is one side. Just to kind of give me more room here. Get to that easier, the carb easier. I was wondering if they have like a straight, like this needs to go the other way, because that way you can get more of a, filter on there. Because that little one barely fits in there. We're done draining. I think so. My worry is what's going to happen when I pull that off. It's going to leak some gas, I know it. Still going, still flowing. Yeah, we're still flowing. Just let it go some more. I know that carb's going to be hot. Not too bad. Yeah, let me show you what's going on here. All right, so someone's got this little piece here. That doesn't look factory. I've never seen a carb with that on there. So basically what was going on is, as I'm giving it gas, this was fluttering open. It was sucking it open just from the suction. I've never seen a carb do that. I mean, basically it was just going like this really, really fast. But that shouldn't be the case. I don't think this is where that's supposed to be. I think that probably went somewhere else would be my guess, but like I said, these are brittle. These are hard as a rock. So we need to replace the lines. I'm gonna get a new fuel valve shut off. And this gas tank, like, I can't believe this thing holds this much gas. There's just no way. But I'll pull the carb off there and see how bad it is. My guess is this is an aftermarket carb and someone just someone put this on there. I'm going to go through my parts and see if I can get a pipe that goes straight back, then that'll give me room for more of a filter. This one kind of curves that way. So I know I have another pipe from another bike, so let's see what kind of stuff we got going on here. All right, let's get this carb off. I'm gonna do it the easy way and take it off from the engine there. And so I found this, it's not the right size, but when I put this one on there, it puts the carb straight back, and that's what we need. That way you can put a better air filter on there, because right here, there's no room. So I'm gonna try to find one that changes the direction of that. And changes the direction for that to go, and then we'll deal with that when it gets here. Probably have to use a wrench. 8. And then we'll take the oh my God. Nothing ever works out. Nothing. Nothing ever works out for me. Need to get this 8 on there some way, somehow. Looks like, there we go. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to strip out. That would have sucked. So we'll just take this out the easy way. We'll check the spark plug. Kind of go from there. Like I said, I've never seen a carb that fluttered to keep it running. I don't know if that's a thing. I've never seen a thing. It's either open, not open, but let me see what happens when yeah, because I can get that. So this thing is probably just jetted wrong. And that was their fix to get it running. There's no way that little piece should be on that choke. I'm gonna get some gloves on because this thing's gonna be hot. So, just slide this out. I can see that this is pulling on already. And this throttle cable, where's that going? So I probably should get another boots all torn. This shouldn't be ripped out of there. So let's see if this is in there wrong. It's in there right. Yeah. All right, so what kind of cable do we got on here? Small one? Yeah, we got the little small, okay. I just needed to know for reference, so when I order a thumb throttle, I know which one to get. So we're gonna pull this off. I'm sure there's still gonna be some gas in there, so we'll just let that leak out. Shouldn't be too much left in there, I hope. And then this thing is filthy dirty. I can just tell that it's dirty. So let's get this gas out of the bowl here. Ugh, jeez. Let that run out of there. I don't think that's supposed to go there. I think that's supposed to go somewhere else, but I don't see any spot for it. So it very may well go there, but it just doesn't look like it should go there. All right, that should be emptied out enough. gas out of here as I can. Filters, people put these on wrong all the time. Like, you want the fuel going through the outside and then through the inside, so that way you can see when it's getting dirty. Everybody puts these on wrong and puts them so the flow is going this way. I don't know. You know, see, I mean, there's even an arrow on there showing that the flow is going this way. So if you guys ever put these on, you know, you want the fuel to go through the outside and then through the inside, so that way when it's dirty, you can see it. It's going through the inside to the outside, you're not going to be able to see when it's getting dirty. So, on that note, I am going to change all this. Well, I'll leave this here for now because I don't want to change the thing yet there. So, all right, let's crack this open. I'm curious to see how dirty this thing is. So this looks like definitely a Chinese carb. I want to say, I'll have to measure this to see what kind of size we got here. But let's get this open. This one's all stripped out, isn't it? Kind of. Let's see what we got in here. We got some old gas. That shit stinks. Gasket. This pin out here and take the float out. Check the needle valve. Still feels kind of rubbery. Curious to see if these jets are plugged up. Let's see what we got in here for our main. Looks all right. It's a little bit dirty. Let me see if I can find the number on these things. There is a number. Need a flashlight. $78 for Maine. That's a little weird. Kind of an odd number. Kind of an odd number for sure. About this pilot, I bet this is plugged. Yeah, I can't see through that. That is for sure. And a 32. Yes. definitely plugged there. I can't see through it. Let's see if we can get a cleaner through it. I think that'll be able to get anything through it. It's probably so plugged solid. Alright, so I'm gonna order a new carb. Let me just find one here and then we'll kind of give them a price list. And then you can see just how, so this is the piece that's on there keeping this from opening. So like it should, you know, choke is on, choke is off. That's all there is to it. This is broken? Oh no, it's not broken. I thought it was broken there for a minute. But I mean, you can see how gummed up this thing is. It's pretty dirty inside, outside. So with these carbs, it doesn't make sense to rebuild them. It just makes sense to replace them. So I'm gonna try to find one that has the pipe that's straight, air filter, maybe the fuel petcock, and go from there. So let's do that. All right, I got some parts in today. Let's see what we got here. Battery came yesterday, and some fuel line. So battery, got some fuel line, spark plug, and I ordered a thumb throttle for this thing. It comes with grips, so hopefully this thing will work. It's a pretty smallest one I could find. I've used another kind on there that was pretty big. This one seems like it's pretty small, comparable with what's on my Z400. So nice plastic top, quality there. So that comes with a cable, grips, zip ties. Now I did have to order another cable because that one was, I don't know, let's see how long this cable is. I might be able to return that other one, but yeah, I mean, that's way overkill. I think this is gonna be too long. That's my worry. Well, I mean, I guess it's gotta go in there, but this one is too long for sure. This is like almost 50 inches long, so I ordered a smaller one, like 35. So I'll use that one. I'm sure that's probably what's in here. Yeah, so there's a smaller cable. This one looks like it's more doable, but my only concern is how long this is. It says it's for a 22mm carb, which is what I got, so we'll see. I think this is gonna be a dilemma because the one that's on there now, like you look, there's not that much length to it. So let's see how long this one is compared to that one. So yeah, so that one should do nicely. That one's way smaller. So we'll see how that goes. Looks like it should screw in there just fine. So we'll set that aside for now. But new cable, smaller cable I should say. And check the carb. And carb, air filter, all that stuff there. Hopefully this will work. You don't have to be returning stuff. So I don't know what size carb is on there now. I think it's the same one. So it comes with a nice red air filter. Order red, but just they give you whatever they want. This is what I was worried about. Darn it, this was supposed to be straight. I might have to return this. fit on there. So the problem with the down of the exhaust and manifold pipe is so the choke's gonna be on the other side now. Which I don't think is going to be a problem, but anyway, so this is the original manifold, and it goes like this. So it aims it this way, so that I really have no way of getting an air filter on there, because once I put the carb on there, you know, it kind of throws it right there. I need it the other way. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's probably not gonna work. It's irritating. I need to find a straight intake tube there. Because if I don't, then I'm not going to be able to mount this up correctly. So everything turns that way. I don't know why. Like, I need it to go straight. All right, I'm wrapping up this bike. Got the chain adjusted, got the oil changed. I made a thumb throttle for this thing. That's what he wanted for some younger kids that'll be riding it. The issue I have with the stock handlebars are these are 26 in length, and because I added this and it's not just a twist throttle, I'm losing space to add a grip, so I'm going to have to replace the handlebars with a 30-inch, and that'll give me the added space I needed, because you can see these are kind of at the bend there, and it just makes it awkward because it's not the right place for it. So I got those here. Those just arrived, and we're gonna swap those out. And you know, these throttle cables for these bikes, like if you're gonna switch to a thumb throttle, it kind of sucks because they don't make one particular for a small ATV. They're all for larger ATVs, and all the cables you get, there's just too much. So like the free play in the throttle cable is all too much. So what I ended up doing is basically I ran it through the carb, pulled the slack up here, and then measured it. And then, so you know how they have the little, you know, lead piece on there like that for inside the plunger? I had to cut that off and then just use I used a small rivet that I had sitting here, one of these, and I took it off, put it on there, crimped it, and then cut the end off, the bigger flanged part. So it works good. It's on there good. I'm not worried about it falling off. So that was a custom throttle cable there. It's hard to find the exact measurement you need. If you guys do switch a kids dirt bike to a thumb throttle, I will say you'll have a hard time finding the correct cable length. There was a lot that were just too long. I think this is like a 35, and basically, like I said, I put it all together in the bottom, pulled all the slack out to the top, and then measured where, you know, it would go into the slot up here. And then I just took it all apart, cut it off down there, and crimped a rivet end on it. And it works. I haven't had any issues. I've been riding this thing around the block, no problem. And we should be good to go. I mean, I like the thumb throttle idea. I mean, especially for little kids, you know, they don't get that whiskey throttle. So Anyway, I am going to swap these handlebars onto it, put the grips on, put it all back together. So let's get that done. Let's go ahead and get that out. I don't know if that pad's bigger. I may just use this original pad. We'll see when we get to that point. See what size that's going to be. That one there. I don't know if this has added risers on it or not. It looks like it does. Oh yeah, I think we're losing nuts and bolts here. It's gonna be a shit show, that's for sure. Because now we're gonna have to go underneath and figure out how to hold all that stuff while we try to put it on. That's not gonna be fun, but let's get it done anyway. Loud when it falls on metal. And we'll zip tie this all back up there too, so that goes on that side. And we'll just leave him these handlebars. If he wants to chain them back down the road or do something with it, so be it. So these are just a little bit, you look just a little bit longer. So that'll help out. That'll give me a little bit more room to put stuff on there. So. Oh, that's solid, really? That's stupid. I was hoping they had a line cut in that so I can get this off. But of course they don't. I might just have to cut one in there. Probably gonna do that because I really need it off. Just to get these on there. But you can see this doesn't have any. It's like they put it all on there and they slide it on there. So we'll go ahead and make a slit in it. If I can. I'm cutting my hand off. Let's get a new blade on here so that we know we got something sharp to work with. So, this should be interesting. Let's
Let's try to get this mounted up with one hand. I don't know why one of these is longer on this one. Is it just my imagination? Nope, one a little longer. These two are the same size. That's weird. One of them is definitely longer. Why that is, I don't know. But anyway, let's get this on there. We're just gonna figure this part out and then tighten her up a little bit, and then we'll deal with the adjustments after that. Alright, let's get this other side on there. All right. So let's line these up so they're evenly spaced. So there's little hash marks on there. Let's go with that. And then just tilt it back just a little bit. Right there should do. Alright, let's see how that works. That should be better. So that'll give me room to mount this. No problem. Let's do this first. I'm just gonna kind of stick this on there and give it a dry run, and then we'll tighten everything up just to make sure everything fits good. What's going on here? Oh, there it is. That thumb throttle. Let me just squirt that with some black paint. I think it'll be all right. Don't see much of that. Now I just need to see if we got anything for grips. So we should be right there. I think we're freaking golden. We're golden. And then this, I can just mount right there. Or I can mount this right there. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see, but I think we're gonna have enough room here. So let's get these grips on. These are gonna be a problem because they're so squishy. Oh yeah. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to WD-40 these and put some glue in there, I think. That should work. Go ahead and tighten this back up. I don't know if I really like the Phillips screws. Let me see if I have some Allens. I just feel like these aren't going to get tight and they're going to strip out. Let me see if I can find something different. I just have this feeling these are going to strip out. And you can see they're kind of already getting a little wonky. That's probably aren't long enough. I don't know if these are going to be long enough. Oh yeah. Let's run with these. I feel more confident that that's going to stay than those Phillips heads. Definitely a lot better of a grip. Sometimes you gotta take Amazon stuff and improve it. Like, I don't know why they would put Phillips screws on there anyway. I I mean, you need it to be secure. And, you know, Phillips heads do strip out, so. So here's that. I have to undo this just to tighten this up, but I think we can get this back over here. I think right there is good. I wish this was longer, but it's not. So unfortunately, we just had to deal with what we got. These are breakaways, so. Let me tighten this bottom one. Yeah, it should be good. So I gotta loosen this back up just to get to the other two. And this one up here. All right, let's take this back up. Brake, throttle. All right. I'm about to get this fan back on. It's getting too hot in here, so I'll be back. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the video on this EGL dirt bike. It seemed like a pretty stout bike. It's definitely more stout than like an SSR or an Apollo. I just don't like, you know, I mean, yeah, it's a kid's bike. You know, for me, sitting on it kind of bottoms out. But anyway, so what we did to this was it needed a new carb. Someone had messed with the carb, and basically, if you saw the video, how it was just only open partially to allow the air in because they couldn't get it running right. So we just nixed the carb. The other carb that they had on there, this neck right here was facing the other way, like it would point out. So I couldn't get an air filter in there or anything like that. So I went ahead and used the correct one, which is this one here, and it puts the carb straight, so that way I can fit a full-size air filter back there. That comes with the carb. We did go ahead and do this thumb throttle. If you guys are interested in this thumb throttle, let me know. The cable, I'll put a link in there as well, but you will have to adapt the other end as far as the length goes. I'll show you what I did in the video. That way you guys have an understanding of how it worked. If you guys can do the little lead thing at the end, great. I tried, it just seemed to not stick to the wire. So I don't know what the deal was with there. But anyway, we got it to work. And I did rejet this. The original jet in the carb was a 78. I bumped it up to an 82. And then we did a 32 was the pilot, so we bumped it up to a 33, just one up. Works a lot better. Starts right up. New battery in here, adjust to the chain, oil change, spark plug. I did put a pigtail on there for a charger if he wants to get a trickle charger, so we went ahead and did that for him. This guy's a repeat customer. I always try to do a nice job for every job I do, but I did have to go with bigger handlebars because adding this, put this like at the bend there, and it just wasn't right. So in order for it to work correctly, you know, we just added that extra 2 inches on each side. No big deal. It actually rides a lot better. I like it because it's a little more, you know, you got a little more stability holding on to a wider stance bar. But anyway, if you guys are looking for a nicer throttle bot or a thumb throttle, this one's kind of more like the ATV kind. I did try this one here. This just looks chintzy. I mean, it looks crappy. It's got this little thumb thing. I just wanted one that was more like a factory ATV one. So I did find this one on Amazon. It wasn't expensive. They do make them in red and blue. This cover is plastic though. And when you get the red and blue, this is a clear red and blue cover. I don't really know why they made it clear. I mean, all you're seeing is the thing in there move. It's not really cool, but whatever. So I will let him know this is done, and he'll be happy to come get this and put his kids on this, or some nieces and nephews. But anyway, these aren't bad little bikes. I mean, if you're getting your kid into a dirt bike and you want a nice little bike, I'd go for the EGLs. I mean, it's probably more of like a KO. It is a Chinese bike for sure. I did see right here, if you look, it has this manufacturing right there. Manufactured by Yongkang, whatever, Industry and Trading Co. Limited, made in China. So my guess is it's pretty similar to a KO. So anyway, this is done. This is wrapped up. And I'll let him know this is done. And I always shut this off with the key because for some reason I hit that button, I leave the key on, and it's going to drain the battery. So anyway, wrapping up this video, and see you next time.